All right, number 16 says, given A, B, C, D, E is congruent to P, Q, R, S, T, what is the value of X? Your diagram is not to scale. Again, this one, if your letters are in the same order, well, if your two things are congruent, whatever letters are in the same spot are going to be congruent. So we are looking for X. I see that here we have 2X plus 10 at T, which is our last letter. And our last letter in the first one is E. So I know angle T is going to be congruent to angle E. So my equation is going to be 2x plus 10 equals 110. I'm going to go ahead and zoom out a little bit so I can actually write my equation. Alright, so we're going to solve that. We're going to go ahead and subtract 10 from both sides. When we do that, we get 2x equals 100. We'll divide both sides by 2, and we get x equals 50 as our final answer. 17 says, is there enough information to conclude that the two triangles are congruent? If so, what is a correct congruent statement? Again, we're choosing from side, 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 angle, side, angle, side, angle, 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 side, and hypotenuse leg. If you're looking at a problem like this again and you see that line right down the middle, you're going to go ahead and write congruence marks on it because we know they are congruent to each other. So right now I notice that we have two sides that are congruent, the red one and the blue one. And then we have this 90-degree angle on one side, which means the other side also has to be 90 degrees. So I see I have two sides and an angle. Now that means we can't use side angle side or side side side. We also can't use angle angle side because we only have one angle. And again, can't use angle side angle because we only have one angle. So it's either going to be side angle side or HL if it works. Now for side angle side, we need our angle to be in between our two sides. My yellow angle does not touch my blue and my red side, so side angle side is out. My last option is for HL. For HL, you need three things. Your first one, you need a right angle, which we have. Check. The second one, you need the hypotenuse to be congruent, which is the longest side. In our case, it's AD and AB, so that one's good. And the last thing we need, I'm going to zoom out so I can write it down, is a leg to be congruent, which is just any other side of your triangle. We have that middle side, so we're good to go there too. So these guys are going to be congruent by HL. And then we just need to name them so that the parts that are the same are in the same order. So let's call our first one triangle A, B, C. A, B, C is congruent to, our A is mapped, so we're going to stick with A first. B and D are in the same spot, so we're going to go D second, and then C is going to be last. So I'd say it's congruent by hypotenuse leg, and it's triangle ABC is congruent to triangle, oops, I forgot my little triangle, ADC. Again, you could rearrange these letters, but however you do it, the A's need to be in the same spot, the B's need to be the B and D need to be in the same spot, and your two C's need to be in the same spot. 18 says, given AC is congruent to DF, I'm going to draw that in, AC is congruent to DF. What additional information is needed to prove the triangles are congruent by hypotenuse leg? Now we just talked about HL. If you watched the video for number 17, we need to have right angles. Number 2, we need the hypotenuse to be congruent. And number 3, we need a leg to be congruent. If I look at my picture, we have the right angles. We're looking at E and B, so that one's good. We have the hypotenuse, which is the slanty side for each triangle. So this one is good. So now we need two legs to be congruent. We either want our two short legs, so AB and DE, or we need the two longer ones, BC and EF. So we want to look for that option. Again, we don't need angles, so the two angles are out. The first one is AB and DF, which is not right. The last one is AB, DE, BC, EF. That is what we're looking for. So it's going to be D is our final answer.